thanks for hopefully watching this video. I'm thrilled to have Amy here today. We spoke a few weeks ago, and Amy's absolutely interesting and loads of stuff to share. So we're going to just kind of have a few questions and find out a bit more about what Amy does. So I'll start off, Amy. Thank you so much, lovely, for coming along.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's Friday. Feel good Friday.
Yeah.
Right, without further ado. So, Amy, if you don't mind me asking, can I ask how the menopause has affected you and maybe your work?
Well, it's affected me personally and also for my client base. So I am a Pilates teacher, a movement coach, a women's health specialist, and I've since gone on to do more training since hitting menopause. But my personal journey was I was just sort of finding it quite unpleasant sort of teaching the exercise classes, and I just kept thinking it's because I'm doing so much, and and then I deal with a lot of women who come to me just for kind of various forms of exercise. And I started researching the menopause for them, ultimately, naively thinking, oh, these ladies, I better find out all the stuff for them. And actually, in the process of doing that, I was like, oh my God, this is me. This is me. I've got all these symptoms. And so I was researching it for them, and then sort of thought, well, I might kind of try HRT. I tried to do it naturally. Then I tried going on HRT, and I found the difference in how my body felt was it's almost like I didn't realize quite how bad it had been until I got the assistance with the hormones, and then I was like, wow, it was I just minimized it, I think, for a very long time.
Wow. So did you try? I mean, I've heard this from other women. So you tried an alternative first and you found that difficult and then went on to HRT, was it? Or
Well, I'm a firm believer in, give your body the best possible chance, whether it's diet, exercise, sleep hygiene, all that sort of stuff, drinking enough water. And as a sort of exercise professional, that's very much in my nature. So I kind of, reduced my alcohol and did all the great stuff, but I just had this awful sort of still grindy joint stuff going on and was just feeling really tired. So that was when I sort of started researching HRT, and that was the route that I chose to go down.
yeah, it's really complicated, isn't it? I think there's so many different ways that people can manage this, and I think a lot of people think, oh, it's one tablet or it's one thing and it's going to fix it, and I think it's this
Yeah.
journey you go on, and I think that's why I bang on so much about education, because I think it's so important, because women are wasted. I mean, I don't know about you, it's probably taken me 4 years to actually just try and find what's right for me and get
Yeah.
my right, balance. So yeah.
Yeah. And it's like you say, it's kind of, I am fortunate I'm able to go on HRT and it's worked for me, but it's a very individual journey for women, and medical menopause, all that sort of stuff, it's not always an option. But even with that, it's not a one and done, oh, I'm on the HRT and there you go. It's like, last night I had no sleep. I woke up, I had to teach 2 hours of exercise, was thinking, oh my God, how am I going to do it? I'm talking to you. And I was having a laugh with my client, and I said, I sort of got this idea that I've got to be perfect and really on it. And she was like, you're having a chat about menopause. Maybe you should just say that's where you're at. And it's difficult because women, we have so much to deal with, and this expectation we're going to be perfect and really dynamic and really on. And I have to check myself to
Mm.
go, it's okay to say I'm not really coping today, and today I'm a bit tired, and yes, I do all the great stuff, but sometimes I have a day where I don't feel that special, and you just kind of have to roll with it.
Yeah, I really agree with you on that, Amy. I think that's the worst thing. I find it, when I see other people, I think, oh gosh, they're coping so well. I know I'm not like that. So I tend to share quite a bit. I mean, it's like I did a
Yeah.
talk ago and I'd had quite an emotional week, some family members had passed away. And it was like, I went and did this talk and had a complete anxiety meltdown. I couldn't control it. There was
Yeah.
nothing to do, but just to be honest with people and just say, this is actually a really bad day. And I think people relate to it more and go, oh, so you still have bad days, even if you've got your medication spot on or whatever,
Yeah.
it still happens. So yeah. So that must
Yeah.
have affected in your working life, like you said, Amy, especially with the aches and pains and stuff like that.
Well, I remember saying to my husband, I can't imagine working till 70. I can't imagine working tomorrow. And then, I've since I've sort of found out more about it and made some changes in my lifestyle, and now I'm also doing an additional, I mentioned to you before, an additional sort of training in menopause, and hoping to sort of launch like a sort of almost like a 12-week group exercise coaching thing for women if they're interested in that sort of thing. But yeah, it's kind of it's ongoing.
Bless you, bless you. Well, let's move on to another question. So you know, you've got this fantastic career and everything that you're doing. What made you choose that path, Amy? Was it just something you'd always wanted to do, or?
Yeah, I was always very into sort of sport and movement, even when I was little. And then my first sort of interest was, I trained in massage, and then I decided I wanted to be an osteopath. So I started training to be an osteopath, but I didn't really like the clinical practice. It's a lot of kind of people in their undies wrestling with them. It's quite physical as well. So I did my first year of that, and then I got really excited about the idea that rather than fixing people, I wanted to kind of give people the tools so that they could fix themselves. And then I'd always loved Pilates, and so I started my Pilates training, and then fortunate enough to end up working in sport, because my mentor who trained me, she does stuff with the England's men's team, so she kind of presented me with a few lovely opportunities. And then from that, I then got interested in women's pelvic health, because for young athletes, you would think it's something that affects kind of, you know, sort of maybe perimenopausal, menopausal women who've had children, but actually you've got all these amazing young athletes who are like fit as anything, top of their game, and then they're having these pelvic health symptoms because they're getting so strong globally. So that was my funny sort of way into pelvic health. And then of course, through learning more and more about that, I've realized that a big population that it affects is also menopausal, perimenopausal women. So it's kind of spiraled from there, really. And I love working with women of all ages. It's just a really nice environment to be in. And yeah, so yeah, I'm fortunate.
Wow, that's really interesting. You wouldn't have thought that with the sports side of it, you know, with these athletes, these amazing women that you just, you know, I think most people would just go, oh, they can't have problems that we've got with this and that. So it's
Yeah.
so interesting to see other sides of what people are dealing with. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about what you do then? Because I think you've got quite a bag full of different bits that you do, which sounds amazing.
I have. I'll try and sort of bring it into something coherent for you. Basically, I'm a Pilates teacher by trade, but I worked in professional sports. I'm a high performance movement coach that worked with athletes. I'm a hyperpressives teacher, and that's a breathing technique that's like the sort of gold standard in prolapse and urinary incontinence recovery. And I'm also a pelvic fascia trainer. So I kind of have combined all my trainings to use exercise as a sort of diagnostic and also prescriptive tool to kind of heal people from a lot of women's health issues, but also just kind of basic functional issues as well. But because of my kind of route that I've taken, and because my interest is kind of becoming more and more increasingly working with people born with female anatomy, I'm kind of just getting sort of more and more into kind of women's health issues. And it's so important now for us as women. This is my big hobby horse and my big mission. You know, we've got everyone telling us all the time, you must be weight bearing, you must be doing all this exercise to keep your bone density. And then you've got a situation where women have perhaps kind of peeing their pants, for want of a better word, prolapse symptoms, feeling horrendous, and yet you've got all this pressure that you should be exercising, you should. So I'm kind of trying to devise this, or have devised this kind of exercise system where women can do all those things but safely, and hopefully get kind of prolapse and urinary incontinence symptom free. So yeah, that's my big passion at the moment.
So important, isn't it? You know, I know various women that have ended up with prolapses and things like that. And you know, we've had it where we've had, you know, our lovely ladies from the oh, what do you call it? See, brain fog today is just terrible.
Yeah, it's fine.
Therapy department, you know, I went along to that a few years
Yeah,
ago, you know, just to try and help my pelvic floor, because it is something we tend to just forget about. I think, you know, we get
yeah.
so with life, don't we? So yeah, so you know, this is all amazing what you do. So how could this help menopausal women, Amy? What could they take away from it? What would be beneficial to them?
So in terms of, so kind of, you want to kind of tips that people can take away from today. So
Well, no, I you can see the benefits, you can hear, it's going to help your pelvic floor, it's going to do all these different things for you. But I think specifically more about menopausal women, when we start talking about how our bodies changes and our muscles are not so good, are they? And, but many people can suffer with osteoporosis, which can make it even harder to do some form of
yeah,
exercise.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
talking about menopausal women, what could be the benefits of doing some of your exercises?
So the benefits really are, so as you sort of alluded to, when we hit perimenopause and menopause, obviously the decrease in estrogen, it affects everything in our body, as you know, but it affects the tissues and the integrity of the pelvic area, and it makes us more likely to have these symptoms of urinary incontinence and prolapse. It also affects our bone density, makes the bone, makes us more at risk of osteopenia or osteoporosis. So my exercises really are, even with that, even with all that going on with our bodies, if we are doing the right kind of exercise for our pelvic floor, and we are exercising our bodies in a really safe way with a understanding of good quality alignment, we can manage those symptoms so much better. It's not a given that because you hit perimenopause you're going to have a prolapse, or because you hit perimenopause you're going to have osteoporosis. The more sort of support and information and education we have around moving well, and just general tips and awareness about it, are going to make a big impact on either improving a situation that a woman might have currently, or sort of future proofing her, for the years ahead.
That's great. It's more of a preventative, really, isn't it? In that case, and that's
I
great.
almost want to go to schools and teach like young women it before we have the babies or anything.
Exactly, and this is it. This all need. I mean, at the moment, as you know, I'm speaking, with local MPs and kind of the minister for schools, and saying, gosh, this kind of stuff needs to be in sex education. I mean, it's just so important.
Yeah.
So this is so kind of really for many people with all different abilities, isn't it? It's all different ages that you can work with.
Yeah, that's the joy of it. I mean, the idea is that it's my job to look at whoever's coming to me, and rather than me going, these are the exercises you must do, me going, okay, what movements do we need to do, how do we need to strengthen you, and how can we make that happen for your body, so it can be really individualized depending on how someone's feeling, where they're at. Or I do the more sort of general group things that are just kind of more fun, and people can just come and exercise and have a bit of a laugh, connect with other people, and kind of do the good stuff at the same time. So I can do both ends of the scale.
That's fantastic. I really like the sound of this. I think that's the thing, isn't it? As well, I think so many menopausal women, even myself, I think, and that's why I love us to have face-to-face meetings at our group sessions, because I think we can just become very much, not wanting to get out, not wanting to talk to people. And it's all great, isn't it, that we can do all these Zooms and everything like that. But I do think that face-to-face sometimes is really important. And
Yeah.
even I know, like exercise class and things that are online, for some women it can be a real anxious thing for them to do. You could get real anxiety thinking, oh, everybody's going to be an expert and I'm going to be like, wearing the wrong thing. Well, knowing me, I'd be there with a sweatband on and everything.
Yeah, armband.
So, but yeah, it's, joking aside, I think it can be a real challenge sometimes for women to want to do that, but hopefully, we can encourage those people to take those steps, and
And
it
it's
helps, doesn't it? It lets all those good hormones out.
It really does. It really does. And it's kind of, I generally, for my pelvic health course that I've sort of sporadic, sort of various points in the year, I run that online. There's the option there that women can have their cameras on. There's the option that they can have their camera off. I have it on focus mode so that people don't have to be seen if they don't want to. But I have a WhatsApp group, so people that do want to engage and connect throughout the period of the course can kind of, share stuff, say how they're doing. I sort of leave encouraging stuff on there. But again, yeah, it's just that idea that you might not want to go and feel exposed
Yeah.
in a jump around. You might be having a bad day, but yet if you can just shuffle to your laptop and touch the button and have your video off, you can still be part of the class, which I think that works. It kind of covers all kind of scenarios.
Yeah, because it's really important, isn't it? Because we've got so much diversity, and so many different things. I mean, I know, for instance, there's certain religious groups and different cultures, and it's hard for them to sometimes be able to do things and get involved. And So I think what you're doing and what we're trying to do here is exactly it, and it's just trying to reach as many people as possible and giving them as many options as they can have, really, you know. So yeah. So Amy, if anybody was interested in finding out more about what you do or joining any of your classes, do you want to give us a bit where you're based, all that sort of stuff?
Yes, I am based at the very beautiful Fromehall Mill in Stroud, so I'm really fortunate to be there. There's a lot of kind of small businesses that probably wouldn't normally have been able to afford your own premises have managed to do sort of startups there. So it's a really, really, really lovely place. So that's just in Keynes Cross in Stroud. My online stuff, obviously, you can do that from anywhere in the world. I can sort of do consultations online, and I also have a face-to-face class, which is at Fromehall Mill, which is a group class, and then I have various courses and then my online courses as well, and that's all accessed through my website, which is Amy Cooke Movement, Amy Cooke with an E, movement.com.
Fab.
And I'm all over Facebook and I'm all over Instagram, wiggling my bum around in my leggings. So people,
we love that. We
people
love
can
that.
message me on there if they want to.
So Amy, could I just ask, if somebody's never done anything like this before, what do they need? They need to go out and buy a mat. Do they need to do this? Do they need to do that? Or is it,
If you're going to come and see me in person, you just need something comfortable. There's water there. I have all the kit. There's parking. It's all super, super chilled. And if you're going to do something online, then you would just need a mat or something comfortable to lie on. And if people kind of get more battle hardened, sometimes they buy a band and a ball and maybe some little hand weights, but some people just use a cushion off the sofa. So I kind of give options, and then if people kind of want to get a few bits and bobs to get more into it, they can. But yeah, you can just turn up in something comfy and I'll do the rest.
Great. Pajamas it is then. Oh, it's so lovely speaking with you, Amy. And we do hope that you might be able to come and join us at the menopause fair, which is...
Yes, definitely. Tell me what you'd like me to do and I'll be there.
Oh, great. Well, we'll talk about that offline. No, I think, the main thing is it's just about bringing awareness. It's not going to be for everybody. Not everything's for everybody, but it's just giving them the options and showing them what is available here in the Cotswolds and close by the Cotswolds. And it's just networking, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Great.
also just letting as many women know as possible that, you're not on your own with this stuff, and you're not on your own with the menopause, you're not on your own with the pelvic health stuff, certainly. And just start chatting about it. You don't have to do it with me, but just don't panic, but do go and maybe get checked or chat to your GP, or just start a little bit of process. You don't have to come in your leggings and your headband. You can, but just kind of reach out to someone. Don't sort of sit on your own at home feeling in despair. That would be my big recommendation for everyone.
I think there's a lot of people that do that, and I think it's having that guts to go somewhere and say I'm struggling, and it takes a lot. It does take a lot, and you're not alone, and that's why I just do this, because I don't want anybody to ever feel alone. Probably drive everybody insane, but
well, I think you're doing brilliant.
I don't know about that, but yeah, no, it's wonderful speaking with you, Amy. Right, well, we're going to stop our recording there, and no doubt me and Amy are just going to have a little bit of a chat, but we'll see you all soon, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Right,